Hello everyone, I'm Wolfie, and today we're going to be reviewing the Logitech C920. That's what we're going to be doing in this video right here. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. The Logitech C920. Now, we have the Logitech C920 right here, and a little bit of info about this camera is that it does have a stereo microphone, a left and right omnidirectional, and the max resolution is 1080p 30 frames per second and also 720p 30 frames per second. Now this camera here, it has a stand at the bottom which is adjustable. It can also be used as a clamp. If you'd like to clamp it onto, say, the back of your monitor, you can easily adjust it and clamp it onto the back with the way that it is designed. Or you could just have it sitting on your desk by itself, opening it up to get a better angle. The head of the camera can pivot as well, can go up and down, and the amount of degrees that the field of view is 78 degrees. And I'll actually have it shown on screen here in just a little bit in the corner, so you'll be able to see exactly how it is that looks. Now, it does have a standard lens here, which is glass, and it also has an autofocus feature. Now, the autofocus can make the FPS take a bit of a hit and lower it down when you are using the autofocus. So what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to manually focus with the camera rather than use the autofocus, as the frames per second will drop whenever you do use the autofocus. It usually does in my experience. Now the camera itself is compatible with Windows 7, 8, and 10, but if it doesn't work that way for you, you always have the chance that it may not work sometimes. You know, things are sometimes. You can easily go on over to the Logitech website where they have all of their software available for download. So let me actually go ahead and show you the software right now. Okay, so in order to download the software, you just head on over to Logitech's website, and once you're on their website, they may do this where they automatically detect your operating system and they'll show you the appropriate one to download for the webcam, but you can also choose it manually by going down, and there'll be an option here for a drop down like this. I actually clicked on that option, and that's why it's available for me. See right here it says looking for another version, and once you click on that, you'll be taken to that other window, and then if you go down, show all downloads, and you can choose your operating system. So if you're on Windows 10 and it did not download automatically, you just click on that and you can download it here. This is it right here, the camera options. Yeah, these are different versions of the firmware. These are different versions, so maybe you're having some trouble with the most recent. You can always download a previous one and use that instead, which is really nice in my opinion. That's a nice feature, because sometimes the newer version of things, the updates, you may have some compatibility issues. Now the Logitech C920 on Amazon, it's currently going for approximately $60 US. And well, I'll have a link to that in the description if you would like to give it a look-see. Also, just a little note, that is an affiliate link, so I do receive a little bit of a kickback if you use my link to purchase the Logitech C920. Now, it does sell on Amazon at the moment for $60 US, and that can fluctuate depending on the time of year. Alright, so here's our side-by-side, and the autofocus for the camera is not on right now, but when I do turn it on, you'll notice that there is a significant drop in the FPS. So let's actually go ahead and we'll turn on the autofocus settings right now so you can take a look at that. Alright, there we go. And now you'll notice there is a massive drop in the FPS now that we have the autofocus on. So you're going to want to manually adjust that rather than using the autofocus, because the autofocus, well, yeah, you see why. Okay, and also when you do turn the camera on, it does have an LED light which will illuminate on the camera itself. So let me actually turn it around right now so you can see that LED light which is illuminated. So when I turn it around, you'll see that on the sides of it there is a blue light, and it does go all the way around the camera. There is an option in the settings which you can adjust, which will make it so that it only partially lights up or it doesn't light up at all. It's entirely up to you which you choose to do. You have full control over that, as there is an option in your settings which can turn it off altogether, or you can have it only partially illuminated. Alright, so here we have the options for the webcam, and these are the options on Windows 7. It's actually similar on Windows 10. Very similar, but it does have a slightly different look to it. So if you see something that looks a little different on Windows 10, it's the same thing even though it looks slightly different. So let's go ahead and turn the autofocus back on so that we've got some brightness here. Those are all the autofocus options. We have one over here, and then we have 3 of them over here for the image quality, the gain, and the white balance. That's where they're located. It'll adjust everything though once you turn all of them on. So now you can see me again, and we can also use a zoom on this camera, where if you click this, you'll zoom in and out. And I believe these here, these buttons, do not work unless you zoom in. When you zoom in, you do have some degree of control as to where on the camera is actually capturing. So that's only once you zoom in though. If you're zoomed all the way out, it doesn't go up or down using the arrows here. So that is how much control you have there. Now adjusting it manually is what you're going to want to do, so let's actually do that right now so you have an idea of how exactly adjusting it manually works. So I turned off all the settings there, and you can see it kind of adjusted a little bit once I did do that, but basically you'll just move these sliders in order to choose how you'd like the camera to look. So let's see, what's the best we can get it to be here. We'll leave brightness, contrast, roughly about there. Let's see if I can get it to match my current camera. Yeah, see, if we change the white balance just a little bit, it's quite easy to get it to be at least somewhat similar to my current camera. And I'll do a comparison video in the future where I'll compare this to the other webcams that Logitech does have, the C920 and also the Brio, so keep an eye out for that. Now we still have a couple more things to go over here. Let's go ahead and do an audio check, an audio test, so you can see exactly how it is that the camera sounds. Now I don't have the microphone on for the camera, so I'm actually gonna turn that on right now. Let me do that. And here we go. Now I am recording using the Logitech C920 microphone, the stereo microphone. So test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll actually put it a little closer just in case the audio may not be picking me up all too well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is how it sounds when it is directly in front of me. Now I'm going to put it further away. It's at the same range as the microphone that I'm using to record this video, the camera, excuse me. So now we're going to count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is a audio check, an audio test. So you have an idea of how the microphone on the Logitech C920 sounds. So now I'm going to swap back to my microphone. And I'm not doing this to compare the microphones, because the Logitech, obviously compared to a dedicated microphone, which I have right over here, it's gonna be just completely out the water, So there we have it. That is a review of the Logitech C920. Now before we wrap up here, let me talk about my experience with the Logitech webcam. Now, it's been a pretty decent webcam for me. I've had it for quite a few years now, which I have been using it. It's pretty much been a daily worker for me, and I've had very little issue along the way. The only issue that I'd say I have is that the settings on the camera itself, every time I restart my PC, the settings itself, they reset to completely default settings. So I kind of have to manually adjust it each time that I do restart my PC and I decide to use the camera again. So that's not too big of an issue, but it's something that, well, when you've been using the camera for a while, it may just get to you a tiny bit that you have to adjust it every time that you do want to use the webcam to record some things. And also, as for reliability, the camera has been fairly reliable. I will occasionally have an issue or two where the camera may freeze or something along those lines. It may freeze, the light may start flickering, and I'll need to unplug it from the port and plug it back in due to it not functioning. It doesn't happen too often, but occasionally you do have little bugs like that, or I've had little bugs like that pop up from time to time, but it's still working fairly well after having used it for, I would say, over 5 years now, and it was a daily worker at one point. So I think that says a lot for the reliability. And while the Logitech also comes with a 2-year warranty out of the box, so the fact that it's still working after 5 years with a 2-year warranty originally, I'd say it's a pretty decent webcam. So there you go. That is my review of the Logitech C920. Now, if you enjoyed this video, if it helped you out, I'd appreciate it so much if you can leave a like and possibly leave a comment as well, as both of those are much appreciated since they bump us up in the YouTube algorithm. And subscribe. I'll have more videos coming soon. Remember, there will be a comparison video coming out where we compare it to the C922 and the Logitech Brio, so keep your eyes open for that one. Alright, I'm Wolfie, and I'll see you next time. Bye.